Back last Friday night on April 21st, a small tornado touched down in Fayette County, Alabama. That tornado was rated an EF0. It was only on the ground for about 5 minutes, crossing 2.28 miles worth of Fayette County territory close to Piney Grove Road. In fact, this is called the Piney Grove tornado. The width was about that of a football field, including the end zones and the track that runs around the outside, or essentially from fence to fence, the length of a football field, including the end zones. So it wasn't very big, it wasn't very powerful, but it grabbed some headlines because it went unwarned. So how does a tornado like this go unwarned? Well, the majority of our tornadoes, not just in Alabama, but really nationwide, are in this range, the weak or the moderate, the EF0 and EF1. Because these often are short-lived, and sometimes they show very little reflection at radar level. When we're not anticipating severe weather, when it's not really top of mind, sometimes a storm like that can slip through the cracks, and we don't like it. It's not a great thing, but not every single tornado can be detected on radar prior to its touchdown. Now, we did notice it on radar after it had touched down, but by then it had already lifted and it was far too late to issue a tornado warning because it did not produce another one. You get up here toward the EF2s and EF3s. These are a bit more uncommon. The EF4s and EF5s, these are very, very rare, fortunately, and these hardly ever go undetected. But often the EF0 and EF1, if we are not in what I would call severe weather mode, those can happen at a moment's notice. So what kind of damage does an EF0 do? Well, this is classic. You get mostly tree damage from it. If this hits a frame-built home that has a good foundation, you're going to miss some shingles, and that's probably about it. Tosses trampolines, may throw some debris around. You may get a lot of leaves and sticks and stuff like that stuck to the side of the house. These happen, in fact, in years past, before the advance of Doppler radar, we may not even known this was a tornado. We may have just classified it as wind damage. A mobile home like this one in a tornado, you do need to be aware of it, whether it's EF0, EF1, EF4, EF5. That can be dangerous, but an EF0 is typically not going to do anything more than rattle it, maybe peel back some of the aluminum from it, especially if it's pinned properly and it is secured. So thankfully that one was. This is the radar imagery from that storm. This is 7:35 p.m. I'm going to highlight a couple of things here. First of all, what I'm drawing out here, this is U.S. Highway 43. I'm highlighting that, so that line is Highway 43. On the left, this is the reflectivity, or the rain. So we have something called a bounded weak echo region right in there. That's where the tornado occurred. When we look at that compared to the rotational velocity, which is right there, using Columbus, Mississippi NEXRAD, green is inbound, red is outbound. We can infer some rotation, some spin in that thunderstorm. Now, do we know it's down just based on those two things? No, unfortunately we don't. But what we do know from the additional dual pole variables is that there was a little debris being tossed up, mostly leaves, maybe some hay from a fresh cut field or something like that. Not every tornado is going to be caught before it develops. Usually those big ones, the EF3s, EF4s, EF5s, they will. But one like this, not always going to be caught. So anytime we have thunderstorms, especially this time of year in the spring, just be aware that it doesn't take much, especially this upcoming week. We've got impact weather on Thursday. We've got more storms coming up on Saturday. Be aware that storms can do this in April and May with very little warning.